Hello everybody, and happy Thanksgiving to my USA friends. Today is Thanksgiving. You won't be seeing this on Thanksgiving, but it is almost going on 10 o'clock in the morning. I've got all of my stuff done. I'll be going to my daughter's for lunch, and I thought I would do a little work on my corrugated cardboard Shabby journal that I'm working on. There is a video showing how I put this journal together. It's not done. I have to put something over this. And someone suggested, because I'm not smart enough, to put this on before I put this on, so that the edge of this is under the corrugated cardboard, which is a wonderful idea, and which is what I will do the next time, but this will be covered anyway with fabric. So this is the cover. You didn't see it with the image sewn on it. I used my teal thread and did some stitching around it. And so this is glued down with that. So yesterday I worked on the pages. So I've got my pages pretty well done, I think. So I'm going to use those as a guide for doing the pages for the next journal, because that was so much fun to put that cover together. So I selected fabrics and chenille for 2 more covers. I'm going to do a peach and brown. And I didn't have a large enough peach fabric for the spine, but I could piece together. I've got some peaches and some browns in small pieces. And I'm sure these are from Sarah. Thank you, Sarah, so much for the chenille. I've got a nice assortment to choose from. And then I'm going to make one with this fabric that I've been hoarding. So I think I'm going to keep this one. I need to keep one of these and this pretty pink chenille for the spine. So I'm going to work on the pages for these today. And I've done a lot of the prep work. I didn't do a lot of sewing, but I did do a little, and I think I did that, all that I need to do already before I started the camera. So this is the first page. You see, it's not a full page. It's a partial page. The back page extends to the full width of the book, but the front doesn't. And I really like this flappy look. And I was inspired for these pages by Ruby and Pearl XO. Is that the name of her shop? Her video? I'll link it below. She is so inspirational. I love her work that she does. So I will link that below. I think it's Ruby and Pearl XO. So in this journal, I am using some of my own wallpaper digitals, which aren't in the shop yet, but by the time I get the journals done and ready to go in the shop, I hope to have my wallpaper digitals listed. So I printed them, and I've taken out the colors that will work for the journals that I'm doing, but these are the ones I'm not using. You can see what kind of wallpaper digitals that I'll have. I'm also using some from Tailor Made Journals. I have some of her wallpaper images that will match the colors that I'm using. And I'm using a set of hers called French Roast Coffee. And I think probably that refers to the coffee staining on these, but I love these. And you will see how I used them. I used them as pockets. I used them as journal cards and pages. They're very, very versatile, and there's a lot of different styles on this French Roast Coffee dyed paper. Aren't they beautiful? And they're subtle, which is what I wanted. These are some of her wallpapers. And then there's at least 2. You get page after page after page of these, and I probably haven't even seen them all. But there are at least 2 that are split up into fragments, so I tore them, and you'll see how I use these. And there might be something else of hers that I'm using, but we'll get to that. So this is one of hers. It might have been one of the fragment ones, but then once, and I had printed them on cardstock by mistake, but I'm glad I did because I like them on the cardstock for what I'm doing here. So this is one of her pieces, and I just tore it. I'm going to ink around it. So I was saying I had printed a few pages on cardstock, forgetting that I had cardstock in my printer. And after I used the fragment section, the fragment page that I had, I just took another page and tore it into sections. So it doesn't really matter, but I really like the fragment page. So and then when I was printing some more onto paper, I saw another one that was fragments, so I printed that one also. So this is going to be hanging off, and I want to put some wallpaper. This this will be for the pink journal. So I have some pink wallpaper. So for some of these wallpapers, the ones that I'm using my own digitals, some of them have scraps of the real wallpaper and then the digital print of that wallpaper. So that's kind of cool. So this is one of my own wallpapers that I got at the flea market, and this is just a scrap. This is a fragile paper. I couldn't use this to just fold it and put it into the book, but I do like to use pieces of it glued down to stuff because it's so pretty. It rained and rained and rained and rained pretty much all day yesterday and pretty much all night last night, but now the rain, I believe, is done for the day. And I have these little tea cards. It's a little bigger than I wanted, but let's use this one. These aren't real tea cards. These are, oh, this is what I'm using from Tailor-Made Journals. It's one of her tea card sets. I've got some collage bits in here, so I want to put some music paper on this. This is one of the music sheets that I did put some modeling paste on through a stencil. I did a video of that a while back, and I'm using some of those pieces in these journals. I told you I would link Ruby and Pearl XO. I will also link Tailor-Made Journals. That glue bottle just leaked, so I'll put the glue on here. So with Tailor-Made Journals, you can look up her wallpaper packs. She has a lot of wallpaper packs, and with every kit that you get of hers, you get a lot. So it's a wallpaper, the French roast coffee, and I don't remember what these are called, but she has tea cards. I don't know if they're called tea cards or what, but vintage ladies, lovely ladies, I don't know. But she does have tea cards too. I think these are hers. Anyway, she's worth looking up. Let's do a couple more. Oop, just dropped my ink pad. I feel like my tripod is crowding me extra today. But looks like you're getting a better view of my table than you normally do. You just might get bumped a little more often. I have a different pink wallpaper here. This one isn't quite as fragile, it's not as old. What are you all doing for Thanksgiving? I think I told you that my daughter and her family have had COVID. She still does. She was tested to see if she could go back to work. They have to make sure she has enough antibodies that I think she said she won't be contagious, but she doesn't have enough of them yet, but they are building. So she can't go back to work. And she's been off work a long time because even before she was sick, she was quarantined because her husband had it. And then before she could go back to work, she got it. So anyway, she was planning on hosting Thanksgiving this year for me and for my son and his family. And because she was off. And then now she's quarantined, so she has to be off anyway. And my son and his wife are in contact with a lot of people daily because of their jobs. And so they don't want to risk getting it and passing it on to other people. So they are not going to be going. But I've been exposed already to her and her family. So I live alone. My son doesn't want to come in contact with me either because I was exposed. So I'm not going to sit home alone on Thanksgiving. I am going to my daughter's. She'll have to work on Christmas. I think my daughter-in-law has to work on Christmas. So this is our holiday. So I made the desserts. They don't eat pies. And the boys wanted cake or brownies. So, of course, being a grandma, I made both. I made cake and brownies to take, and I made the stuffing, because we don't stuff it in the bird. I mean, I did sometimes, but I usually just make it in a big pan and put it in the oven. I used to make a batch with sausage in it for my husband. And then a regular batch for the rest of us. So anyway, I'm taking the cake and the brownies and the stuffing. And I'll be going over there. I'll call my son when I'm done with this video. I'll call my parents. I can't go see my parents either because of my exposure. So I'll give them a call. I hope that one of my siblings invited them to dinner. We used to all get together at somebody's house. I have 6 siblings, or I did. I lost my younger sister. And then, you know, as the family grew, as the siblings married and then had kids, and now our kids are married and have kids, and it's too many people. Nobody has a house big enough for that. So we don't do that anymore. For a while I tried to host a New Year's Day get-together where it wasn't like a big sit-down meal. You could fill your plate with, you know, people brought something, a dish to pass, and you could just put your food on your plate and go find a place to sit. And it was more casual. But now I've moved and my house is not nearly big enough to do that. Unfortunately, I miss having our family get together. Those are the 2 pages for the pink journal. I'm sorry if I'm chatting too much. Now I'm going to do a couple for the peach journal. Peach and brown. I do have this brown wallpaper. I tore these pieces of cardstock with my tear ruler to get the not quite smooth edge on them. I can just put some music paper on here that doesn't have to be, what do you call it? Model pasted. I've been watching The Crown. Do you guys watch The Crown? I think I have 1 or 2 more episodes to go. I also love Call the Midwife, and I had to wait. I don't have cable or satellite. I watch on Hulu, also Netflix. And I have Prime because I have Amazon Prime for free shipping, which comes in very handy for my business. So I can watch things on Prime. But Call the Midwife was available on Hulu. I believe, no, that's Netflix also. So I had to wait for it. I couldn't watch it while it was on PBS, the most recent season. I had discovered it late, and so I binge watched it until I got to the last episode that was available on Netflix, and then I was like, oh, it's not over yet. We have more seasons to go, but I had to wait. I had to wait a long time for it to come to Netflix. So I'm savoring that. I'm watching one every Sunday night. Not binging it. And then I'll probably go back and start from the beginning, because I really like the beginning episodes with the Jenny character. The main, she was the main character when it started. And I love the tall girl. I forgot what her name was. Oh, what did they call her? Anyway, I loved her. I guess. I was thinking maybe that was bigger than I wanted, but I think I'll leave it. I didn't mean to just be doing the same thing for the whole video. Got this peach, but it's not very wide. So, do? I might have it in a whiter piece. That's one of my wallpapers that I have in my collection. I do have it in a whiter piece. I know the flower's upside down, but the straight edge is over here. Okay, we'll fix it. So I told you I lost my... I got this pin stuck to my finger and it won't come off. The pin that I stick in my glue. I had the one that has all the beads hanging on it, you know, so it wouldn't get lost. I lost it. And I cleaned in here good. So I don't know what happened to it. So I'm just using a plain old pin till I can find a steel pin or order a new topper. I'll just make this a little bit smaller. Now I'm not trying to color match everything to the covers like I did with those color project journals, but you know, I try to make everything in a journal like this. I try to make it all coordinate together. I do like making eclectic journals with a mix of colors and styles, but these are more, I wouldn't call them a theme, but styled, I guess. So I didn't mention that I did zigzag a row of stitching down the flap just for a little decorative element on the back side. All right, we have that done 4 times. What else do we do to this page? That page is done. The next page is a coffee dyed paper with a fabric pocket, and I've already, because it's sewing, I already did the sewing on the pocket. Remove these wallpaper pieces. I'll put these in my drawer of collage elements, those little bits of wallpaper. So we see it's just a feed sack fabric sewn on, and then a envelope with an embossed flap is glued on, and the rest are just elements added. So this will be quick and easy because I've already sewn the feed sack fabrics on. Now this is a vintage postcard, so each journal will get a vintage postcard. This one is 1922. She has a blue dress on. And this is a tag that I made. It was in my stash. And then this is one of the cards that I made with the tailor-made journals. And I'll ink the backs of these. I just stuck them in there for now. So I had gone through my box of handmade ephemera that I've made in videos and whatnot. And I pulled out a whole bunch that might work with these. So let's see if I have a tag for each of these journals. Oh, that's kind of a peachy pink, so I'm going to put that in a peach. I might have to trim that a little bit. We'll see once I get it into the cover. There's a pink tag. That's neutral. There's another pink one. That could go in a peach one. I'm sorry, I'm holding them out of your view. Lots of pink, of course. Some of these are tuck spots. Those are neutral. So let's look at the pink, or peach first. So here's a pretty postcard, and she's got a peach dress. And this one is 1908. And these postcards are already in my shop in digital form. I could add this one. Someone made this for me. I'll add fibers to it or seam binding to it later. Upside down. That works better. The bottom part, if this part is right side up, the bottom part is flatter. This side is beveled. So that was making it hard for me to tear it. Putting it down flat works a lot better. There, all that to get a journal card. Well, I'm going to need a few of them. There. I'll do the inking later. So I took a vintage envelope and just embossed the flap. It kind of cut, I think maybe because the paper is more brittle, it kind of cuts into the paper a little bit in some places, and I just put some coffee dye grid paper there to repair that. I've got some envelopes right here. So this one, I did the whole envelope, and it is just full of little holes. But I'm going to glue this part to, well, it was going to be a pocket, but I don't think it's going to be a pocket because of that. And then I will, again, it's just got this tear on the flap, so I will repair that. And this part is good. It's just the back that's riddled with holes, little cuts. I wonder, yeah, I'm just going to glue it down to be secure. So this one will not have a pocket in the back. We'll just have the envelope that you can put things in. This does have some holes in the front. It's just a scrap of that wallpaper. Oh, I want to show you guys some other things that I made in preparation for these journals. I got some dies that also emboss from Tim Holtz. I don't have the dies in here to show you. I'm going to have to add some color here because whatever I put in that pocket would have added color. So I want to do something to give it a little more interest. This isn't exactly color, but it is texture and interest. I think that's fine. I'll just add that right there. And of course I'll put something inside. Okay, let me show you what I made. I saw someone making something and had these medallions. And there were 2 medallions. Okay. So I looked them up on Amazon and I found them. But then I found a set of 4 dies, which included this die with these 2 medallions. And you can see I cut them out in various papers and colors. And then it included this medallion. And there's another one that goes with that when I find it. Apparently I really liked that one because I did a lot of that one. Well, I put this paper and it's quite thin, and it ended up, the first time I put it through, I realized that there were 4 sheets of paper in there, so I got a lot of that one. Well, I don't see the other one that goes with this, but there's another one. And then there was, oh, here it is. It's just a small version of it. Then there's this leaf, frond, whatever. And a scroll. I was trying to say scroll and swirl at the same time. Isn't that pretty? So they all came in one set. I can try to remember to link that. And then I had some other cut and emboss things that I already had. So I did a few more, the heart and the butterflies and the button. So I have been using some of those. I also have these calling cards that I had done because the front was just plain, just had a name on it, or the decorative part came off, this part came off. So I did a video on these. So I have those to use and a couple of my slide mounts that would work in these journals. So I've got a whole bunch of stuff that I won't be able to use all of it in here. But I wanted to show you those embossed pieces. Okay, back to work. I don't think I have another embossed folder or envelope handy for the other peach one, but let's do this pink one, and then I'll either come across more that I did or I'll do some more embossed envelopes. Come on, you stinky glue. Okay. So this has, somebody made this tag for me too. And I love that it has this old photo attached to it. So I'll have to get into my old photographs and pull out a couple. And then this was just something I had made a while ago with a piece of coffee dyed time card and a scrap of wallpaper. Oh, I left them out. So here's one of those. It's got blue wallpaper on it, but that's okay. Maybe this can go inside this envelope. Oh, well, because the back is full of holes, the glue must have seeped through a little bit. Okay. And then I'll put a tag with a photograph attached to it in both of them. And I will find, this is just a printable ephemera piece. I'll find a piece and clip to them. I just want to move on to something else before my time is up. So what's next? Next I have, this is another easy one, I think. This is a page from a book about the history of jewelry, and I love the black and white etching illustrations on those. And then where it wasn't illustrated, it just had the text, I added some pieces for journaling. So I have the book pages right here. And I even have some of the scrap pieces of lined paper for the journaling parts. Get these out of the way. Forgot to put my postcard in. I just need to make them less than 12 inches long and just under 6 inches high. Cut a little more off. Her face. This one doesn't have any text on it, but I might put a little patch on it somewhere for journaling. And this one doesn't have a lot of text. Put this over here. I'll have to stop the video soon. That's not a very pretty necklace, at least in my mind. It just looks like rope swirled around, so I'm just going to put the patch there. And since I cut her in half, I'll cover the rest of her. And I might add some decorations to these little journaling spots. But I do have to stop the camera before it shuts off on me, because we're at 45 minutes. So that's just the very beginning. I've got some pages done for 2 more journals. I've got more pages to do, so maybe I will, what time is it? Maybe I'll do another video today and just upload it for you 2 days in a row. We'll see what happens. Thank you so much for watching, and have a wonderful weekend. Have a creative day today. Enjoy your family and friends. Bye-bye.